In the previous video, we discussed about all the different parts of the male reproductive system except for the glands. So now we will take up these glands, three glands, understand what their secretions are and the function. The first gland that we are talking about is the seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicles, these are paired glands, that means one on this side and the other one is on the other side. They are small, about 5 centimeters long, and saccular and muscular glands. Muscular and saccular glands. They pour their secretion into the vas deferens. We have seen that the secretion comes in the ampulla region, and then the duct, which was called vas deferens, has been renamed and it is known as the ejaculatory duct. So it opens in vas deferens. Now the secretion which is produced by the seminal vesicle, that is the important part. The secretion mainly contains a substance known as prostaglandins. Prostaglandins help in two main things. Number one, they activate the sperms, and second, they cause contraction in the uterine or vaginal wall. So contraction in the female reproductive tract. The sperms get deposited in the vagina part of the female, and then from there they have to move up into or up to the fallopian tube. So the contraction of the vagina or the uterine muscles should be such that it should help the sperms to swim up to the fertilization site, that is up to the fallopian tube. And that is done by this prostaglandins. This is the first gland that we were talking about. The second gland is a single large gland, prostate gland. Prostate gland, as we discussed, that these are donut-shaped or chestnut-like glands. Chestnut or donut-shaped glands. It's a single gland, and it pours its secretion into urethra. This gland is present at the connection where the two vas deferens open into the urethra. So they pour the secretion into urethra. There are some very thin 30 to 40 small ducts through which their secretion is poured into the urethra. Their secretion mainly comprises of bicarbonate ions, and these bicarbonate ions, they would actually help in providing the sperms the proper pH. We'll talk about it. Bicarbonate ions, lipids, then there is citric acid. These are some substances which are present in the secretion. Function. Again, there are 2-3 things. Lipids are going to provide nourishment. Other things will provide proper medium for the sperms to survive. So function is provides this secretion, nutrition to sperms, and protects the sperm from the acidic medium in the vagina. Once these sperms are deposited in the vagina the pH is acidic and the sperms die in acidic pH. So the secretion of prostate contains bicarbonate ions which provide the proper slightly basic pH for the sperms. The pH of the complete semen is secretion of the prostate gland. Now the third gland, that is the Cowper's glands. We can write it here, the Cowper's glands. Again, they are paired small glands which are present at the base of the penis, and their secretion is mucus. And this mucus helps in lubrication during copulation. So these three glands, they pour their secretion. Now when we use the term semen, it comprises of two things: secretion of glands plus sperms. Sperms make about 10% of this semen. The remaining part is from the glands, mainly from seminal vesicle and prostate. So if we are talking about only the secretion of the glands, then it is known as seminal plasma. That means the two glands, seminal vesicles and prostate, their secretion together makes seminal plasma. Then the sperms get added into it, and now the total thing is known as semen. Now this semen will get deposited in the vagina of the female. This process of release of semen is known as ejaculation. So that process, when we come to the steps of fertilization, we'll talk about those. So this is how the glands are and their secretions. Now we have to talk about one more important thing in this male reproductive system, and that is the internal tissues which are found in penis or the copulatory organ. So if we just make a transverse section of penis, then there are three very or highly vascular tissues which are seen. So if it is cut, this is the posterior side and here is the anterior side. Posterior side has two highly vascular erectile tissues known as corpora cavernosa. Corpora cavernosa. And there is one large tissue which is, again it is a mass of the tissue. It is known as corpus spongiosum. Both these are highly vascular. That means they are richly supplied with blood. And this rich supply of blood is responsible for this erection. So here, these are all blood vessels which are actually cut. So when we see a section, there are many blood vessels which get cut. In this one, which is the single tissue, in center we find an opening. This is the urinogenital duct which is passing through it. Urinogenital duct. So when we take a section from here, this duct is getting cut and that opening or that slit of the duct is seen here. And all around this, again, there are these arteries or blood vessels which get cut. Around this, there is all connective tissue. So these two, that is corpora cavernosa and corpus spongiosum, these are vascular erectile tissues. These two, both of these are vascular erectile tissues. Questions on this have been asked, like which is that tissue through which the urinogenital duct passes. So that is where we have to remember that this duct passes through the erectile tissue which is corpus spongiosum. So this now completes the male reproductive system. We have understood all various parts, their roles, the glands, their secretion, and what role these secretions play They are mainly responsible for providing nourishment to the sperm, giving it the proper medium, and the tissues which are responsible for various functions. So after this male reproductive system, we will take up female reproductive system, we'll understand its parts, and after we are done with these two systems, then we will start with the first phase, that is the gametogenesis,